Welcome to Chamber Chat. I'm John Terr, President and CEO of the Boulder Chamber, and these two smiling, laughing individuals are going to be helping me today to do our annual review of the Boulder Chamber, our activities, our exciting look forward for the future, and maybe just a little conversation about our hopes and dreams for the Boulder community and economy going forward into 2023. So welcome to this special edition of Chamber Chat. And I have with me our chair, Bing Chou, who has been our chair for the last year and served so admirably in that position.
Hey gang.
It's been an easy job, I'm sure. And then Kate Brown, who is now currently vice chair, but will be assuming the chair role in 2023, most likely. Most likely. We have our election coming up to make it formal. But I just wanted to have a chat with these two leaders of our organization and get a sense from them about what were, first of all, some of the exciting accomplishments of the Boulder Chamber in 2022 that make them most proud of our work. So, Bing, why don't I just start with you?
Sure. Appreciate it, John. When I was thinking about 2022, it's kind of hard to separate this year from the last 2.5 years generally, right?
Yeah.
It's been a bit of a blur for all involved, I think. But it is important to just reflect on this year in particular. Two things came to mind. One is quite obvious, but I think is worth calling out, which is the chamber is still here, right? You and your staff have not been immune to the impacts that have really touched everybody in this community, from our members to other constituents. And so not only are we still here, but I think we're really well poised to head into 2023 that much stronger. So kudos to you and the rest of the team for that. And the other is, I'll be a bit more specific and talk a little bit about the Workforce Development Initiative, right, which predates this year, didn't start in 2022, but boy did we see an awful lot of momentum get built, and the time and effort that you and your team have put in, I think, has really started to pay dividends this year. And maybe more importantly, we're going to build on that momentum into the following year, right? So we've seen some great results with healthcare apprenticeships, helping our members. Based on my notes, I think over 50 members have participated in the program already. And we've seen some real headway in healthcare-related apprenticeships, which is really fantastic. Looking forward into 2023, knowing that manufacturing, IT, professional services, hospitality, I think these are all sectors that we're really in a good position to make a positive impact on. So those are the two things that come to mind for me in terms of this year, with the understanding that 2022 is not quite over yet. Right?
Not done yet. I mean, there's still much more to go. But you do hit on a couple of things that of key importance, obviously, to our community and just to our organization. And you said you and your team, but I will credit the board for providing the guidance that gets us.
Well, we've got the easy job, is the way I see it.
I don't know about that.
You guys do the work.
We put a lot of stress on you, and I really appreciate both of you for your work and our board directors. So, Kate, anything that stands out for you for 2022 as key initiatives that you're most proud of or pleased with?
Yes. I have been involved in a couple of different communities, and the engagement with the Boulder Chamber of Commerce here in Boulder always flabbergasts me. I mean, how many businesses are involved, and the very active conversation that happens between the chamber and businesses, I really appreciate. I think that this chamber is extremely relevant, and we have one of our board members that talks a lot about chamber relevancy and how to keep ourselves on the forefront. But I think that this chamber is extremely relevant and offers so many good. Boy, when COVID hit, I had a lot of feedback from business members who were saying, yes, I got this information, and yes, we appreciate this, and thank you so much. I mean, chamber staff just really doubled down on reaching out to people with really helpful, practical, needed tools.
Yeah.
And I would say this year, with the election and all of the initiatives that were on the ballot, the chamber does such an incredible job of really being informed on the issues that are going to greatly impact our community and really providing a lot of information to our community. I always appreciate that so much. I think sometimes voters, you've got your ballot on your desk and you think, yeah, I'll get to that, and it just seems like this huge project
Yeah.
to learn about it. And I think the chamber puts the pros and cons and, you know, kind of what the policy is about into an easily digestible, concise format. It's a huge help, and I'm so proud of that, so thank you for doing that.
Awesome, thank you,
Yeah.
Kate. I appreciate that. I mean, it is a huge amount of work for our advocacy team in particular. And yeah, we don't always expect that every business member is going to vote exactly the way the chamber does. So we try to just provide objective information, and obviously based on board director direction, we choose positions that we think are appropriate for the business community. But however they come out, for us, it's that information resource. So I really appreciate you recognizing that. All right, so I'm going to hit you first with this sort of looking forward. You're going to be looking at the chair role, guiding the organization's policy leadership, and I just get a sense of what for you is the thing that you're looking forward to in 2023.
I think you know, the Boulder Together organization
Initiative. Sure.
has had such huge impact so far.
Yep.
And with you know, housing, transportation, and workforce, those are three things that are impacting Boulder County tremendously.
Yep.
I would like to see that continue to have investors join and, you know, really get our membership, keep our membership involved in it,
Yep.
and keep that initiative moving forward. It's really crucial.
Yeah. No, we're having an impact, and Bing mentioned the workforce development, which is a huge part of that initiative, and already seeing great impact in terms of the healthcare sector in particular, but now taking the lessons from that those initiatives, industry sector partnerships, to other industry areas like manufacturing, tech, etc. So really important stuff. And then obviously we've got some exciting initiatives going forward with transportation, housing. But let me ask Bing, what are you looking forward to in 2023?
Yeah, thanks, John. In thinking through what's ahead in the next year, and I thought a lot about the hard work that we've put into diversity, equity, and inclusion, right? So this is something that has we've been learning to walk the walk for several years now, and I think we've approached it very humbly and with an open mind, and I'm very proud of the progress that we've made. And I think we began this this year, but I'd like to see that much more of it next year in 2023, which is to say, I think we kind of very quietly went about our business to try and make it a day in and day out practice, and there's still plenty of work ahead. So love to continue to see that investment, and for us to share our notes, right, and to do so in a very humble way. We're not through learning as an organization, but for those members and other constituents in the community that may be earlier in the process in their own organization, if we can help show the way to some degree, I would certainly be proud of that and look forward to seeing that.
I love that you picked that. I mean, it's been a journey for us. As you know, Kate was chair of the committee when we sort of initiated our D&I efforts holistically, and a lot of focus internally initially, and now just starting, as you're suggesting, to lead out in the community and say, hey, listen, this is the path we went on. Hopefully this sets a good example maybe for your organization. So really appreciate that. Yeah, chills just even mentioning that, so thank you. Okay, well, let me just then thinking about just broadly, I mean, Boulder Chamber, we build community through business. And so our vision is toward supporting the economy, but ultimately the overall community welfare. And so just looking ahead for next year, Bing, you know, your last public statement as chair.
No pressure.
No pressure.
It better be a good one.
Okay, talk about this. What are you looking for just for our community broadly?
Yeah, I think there are a lot of things, but the one that really kind of rose to the surface for me in thinking that through is to continue to see us supporting one another, right? So in terms of building community through business, I think a huge part of that is part of the Boulder culture, but I'd love to just continue to see that in good times and bad, right? We've faced a lot of challenges over the course of the last few years, but I'm not so naive as to think that just because we turn the page and start a new year, come January, that suddenly it'll be smooth sailing and it'll be all rainbows and unicorns from there, right? So with the understanding that there will be more challenges ahead of us. What I wish for from this community is for us to continue to pick each other up, to provide advice, to provide a little tough love when it's appropriate, and to continue to support each other in good times and bad. And I look forward to those good times that 2023 has in store for us.
Yeah, and it reminds me of what you said earlier, right at the front end, of saying, hey, one of the exciting things is that we're still here.
Yeah,
in
that's right.
2022, having gone through, just like everybody else, the difficult times of the pandemic. But that, I think, has made our organization more resilient and have more capacity, hopefully, to lift our community and be a collaborator. Yeah. Well, Kate, what about you? I'm going to take that mantle, and what do you hope for broadly in our community as a representative of the Boulder Chamber?
Actually, before this, Bing and I were talking about the crazy things we've seen in the last few years. Just as far from a workforce perspective, we've seen kind of the Great Resignation, and then people couldn't find labor, and then they were trying to hire up, and now some companies are we're hearing about all these layoffs that are happening in the news, and boy, you just never know what's around the next corner. But I think that if we can empower the businesses in this community to have all the information that they need to make good, thoughtful decisions, that is really helpful. I mean, making decisions in a vacuum, or making decisions without all the information, is a recipe for trouble sometimes. So I think if we can keep provide the tools to keep our businesses well informed, and like Ben said, stick together and support one another, that's really valuable. So that's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping we don't have any other big surprises around the corner. I'm hoping 2023 provides a little rest for everybody and a little chance to kind of regroup. And but we're ready. Whatever happens, we're ready. And I'm really excited about the Chamber Board. It is a very talented group of people, and it's a good compliment to the talented Chamber staff. So you have a great group. So I hope that people in the community can feel good about the folks at the Chamber.
They are darn good people, and I'm sitting here with two of them. And I just say this, so I just start by thanking you two, the leadership of our organization. It starts at the top, and the direction and guidance we get from the board, obviously critical. And then I think also all of you out there, our members, it's through your support, your engagement, your financial support as well, is what allows us to do our critical work and to have the accomplishments that Bing and Kate described. And so I just end with a big thank you at this end of the Thanksgiving season and moving into the holiday season, but looking forward to supporting our businesses, lifting our economy, and making sure that we keep our community strong all the way through 2023 and beyond. And I know with the support of board directors like this, we're going to make sure to see it through. So thank you so much, all of our membership, and we'll see you next time on Chamber Chat.
Take care. Thank you.